Welcome all my caterpillars to another wonderful video made by yours truly, Cosplay-Butterfly. In this segment, we're going to call these 101 words of a caterpillar. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the most basic of words that anybody in the cosplay community, anime community, manga community, comic books, graphic novels, etc. community. Otaku and Weeaboo. Now, I know some of you say, what's an otaku? What's a weeaboo? Well, I'm going to explain from two different dictionaries and my own words what an otaku and a weeaboo is. Now, I'm sure you're watching and you're seeing all these different pictures that I found on Google images of an otaku and a weeaboo. And we'll converse. But anyway, an otaku was originated from Akio Nakamaru's 1983 essay in Manga Buruko, according to Wikipedia studies. And Akio states that it is a term for people with obsessive interests commonly in the anime and manga fandom. Now, this is from Japan. This is somebody who is derivative of Japanese culture and stuff. Continuing on from the Japanese point of view of what an otaku means, is an otaku is the honorific word of taku, meaning home. And he goes to state from Urban Dictionary that otaku is extremely negative in meaning as it is used to refer to someone who stays at home all the time and doesn't have a life, like no social, love life, etc. You know, they just stay at home, be hermit. They're a hermit. And not the good hermits that we see in anime, but like bad hermit. They don't sunbathe in acne and oily hair. Anyway, going on, staying on with Urban Dictionary, it states to say that the otaku person has nothing better to do with their life, so they pass the time by watching anime, playing video games, surfing the internet. Otaku is also referred to as a nerd, hacker, programmer. But here, in the watcher culture, people confuse otaku to be something positive, like a guru. But really, a guru, in its actual terminology, is that you're a total loser who can't socialize with other people, except through the internet. But in all reality, if you think about it, we here in America who do love the fandom of anime and stuff like that, an otaku is actually a term of endearment. It means that we are fans of this great awesomeness that has come upon us, that we know and love to know as anime and manga. And in some comic books, depending on what. But, anyway. But we think of it as a great thing to be called an otaku. We think that it's great and stuff. You know, if you're an otaku, you are a fan of the genre, but you're also a fan of people who don't like it and respect others who are not so much into it, and you don't push that life onto them. You collect things, or, you have a whole bookshelf filled with different mangas and genres and authors and artists. So you're not just limited to one. That is what an otaku means. Now, some others might say, an otaku is just a step up from a weeaboo, and that you're all lame. No, honestly, you're not. It's hard to explain sometimes, because when you are a fan and you're being called, you're just another version of a weeaboo, you're like, I'm not a weeaboo. But my lovely fans, my lovely little caterpillars, you're probably thinking, well, you have told us what an otaku is, but you haven't really told us what a weeaboo is. And I can't really go on much more until I tell you what a weeaboo is. A weeaboo, according to Urban Dictionary, is someone who is obsessed with the Japan and Japanese culture, anime, etc., and attempts to act as if they were Japanese even though they're far from it. So they use Japanese words, but usually end up pronouncing them wrong, sounding like total assholes. You can find all these types of weeaboos on the forum, clogging up the forums of Gaia Online, hanging on the international aisle of the supermarket, or crowding the manga section of your local bookstore. Another term they use for a weeaboo is a Wapanese. So, yeah, it sounds really bad, and it is. And going on, according from Know Your Meme, they state to say that it's an English slang. Weeaboo is an English slang used to describe a person, typically of non-Asian descent, who prefers Japan and all things in Japanese over one's indigenous culture, like here in America, like, Japan rules, I want to move to Japan, blah, 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 because we know they did all this amazing stuff, and blah, 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 this, and blah, 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 blah. No, stop right there. I'm going to stop. Stop. You're turning into a weeaboo. That's a weeaboo. Stop. I've actually come across many weeaboos. And I look at them, I'm like, and how am I supposed to help you? And they're like, oh, this anime. I was like, I've heard of that anime, but I don't watch it because I don't find it interesting, but I have heard of it. And then they'll go off saying, how great that anime is. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done with you. And the last definition I'd like to sum up weeaboo is someone who is overly obsessed with one to about 3 anime manga series. They believe they're made for one of the characters and so on. And if you're really a fan of the anime manga cultural, all things Japan, you're into it, but you still have a life out of it. Being called a weeaboo is like being called a bitch. It's very insulting. And nobody likes to be called that. Nah, I've been called a weeaboo. I looked at him, I was like, do you want to be punched in the face? I was like, 1, I'm not a weeaboo. I respect the culture. I know the culture. And here's a little tidbit about myself. I'm a military brat. And my dad was supposed to be moving me and my family to Okinawa, Japan. So at the age of 10, I was introduced into the culture. I didn't even know about anime and manga at the time. I was just being introduced, learning its ways, its customs, its languages. That was enough for a 10-year-old, because I was going to be integrated into the system. I was going to, learn all these different things and all these different stuff and explore and whatnot. Yeah, 3 months learning everything we could. My dad was there for 3 years, so he knew the culture itself from living there for 3 years. But 3 months of just learning things, how to pronounce things right, like Ohayo gozaimasu, or Namae wa Cynthia desu ka? And stuff like that. Doi tashimashita, which is like, because we were 10, we couldn't pronounce it right. So my dad broke it down, like, don't touch my mustache. Doi tashimashita. Can you hear it now? Don't touch my mustache. Doi tashimashita. Which means, hey, you're welcome. And we all know that arigato means thank you. Arigato gozaimasu is the formal term of thank you. So it's like, thank you very much. So, okay, I kind of been ranting a little bit there. Sorry. So, as a standpoint, now you know what an otaku and a weeaboo is. You can now determine from, just knowing and what you're seeing and hearing what, in the next time you go to a convention or something, what an otaku is and what a weeaboo is. But I do want to end it on a good note. And I found this really cool little poem on the internet, and I'd like to read it to my fans here. So it goes, I am an otaku, are you? You say English, we see Japanese. You say cars, we say Nyan Cat. You say Justin Bieber, we say Vocaloid. You say swords, we say Bleach. You say reality, we say anime. You say comics, we say manga. You say countries, we say Hitalia. You say hello, we say konnichiwa. You learn Japanese from classics, we learn from the shows. You cry if a character dies, we have a rainbow of emotions. You only feel what your favorite person feels, we feel what everyone else is feeling. You crush on pop stars, we crush on anime characters. You think we're crazy, but we think you're just normal. You say crazy, we say Soul Eater. You say ocean, we say One Piece. You say family, we say fairy tale. You say ninja, well, we say Naruto. You say rabbits, we say flying mint bunny. You think we're fangirls, fanboys, but we're really all otakus. And I just wanted to know that. And I thought that was really cool, how they see it and how we see it. But again, a recap. An otaku is one who respects the culture of Japan and knows more and dives into its history, not just the surface stuff, the pop culture stuff. A weeaboo will stay at the surface because they're afraid to dive in. And that's all I have for you, my little caterpillars. Stay tuned for the next episode of 101 Words of a Caterpillar. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It would mean very much to me. Thank you and have a good day.